and welcome to Cooking with Generoso and Lily. I am Generoso.
I'm Lily.
And it's about 45 minutes into my actual birthday. Yay! And so the process of making this Italian birthday cake, which I make every year, first part is already started. What you actually want to make is what we refer to as Spanish cake. As Lily said, to me yesterday, it's kind of like pound cake. Whatever version of the bready part of the cake you want to make, that's completely fine.
It's the cream delivery system.
Absolutely. Because what we're going to work on is the cream filling. We're going to make a 3-layer cake. So a layer of cake, a layer of cream, a layer of cake, and a layer of cream and cake. And then we're going to make frosting tomorrow. The goal right now is to make the actual cream so it gets to coagulate overnight. Terrible word to use for making cream. And then tomorrow we're going to cut up the cake and then we're going to make the actual frosting and decorate it. But this is the first part, the cream. And the ingredients we're going to look at right now: 6 large eggs, a half a cup of flour, sugar, vanilla extract. I would say this is the equivalent of 2 normal chocolate bars.
Yes.
This is a half a gallon of milk. We're going to need a quart for the actual cream, and then we're going to need more milk for the frosting. Some lemon juice. I have a separate bowl here to do the separation of the egg yolks and the egg whites. And then to mix everything together, a large mixing bowl and whisk. And that's how we're going to get all of this done. So we're going to probably break for just a minute. I'm going to wash my hands and then we're going to get ready to do the big beginning. Now what Lily has done is she's been kind enough to help me separate the yolks from the whites. As you can see, I got just yolks in here. And we parceled out, this is 6 tablespoons of sugar. And we're going to do our vanilla extract in just a moment. So what you start with is that we whip these yolks. Get them all nice and whipped. We kept the egg whites. We're going to eat those in the morning because Lily likes her whites. We're going to add the wonderful sugar. Now all of this, remember, is happening cold in a mixing bowl, but eventually it's going to become something else. So let's add all that sugar. Then we're going to add a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Right here, I have a little teaspoon. I cannot find my tablespoon measure. It is so upsetting. So let's do 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Yum, yum. It does have a wonderful taste. Let's add that, stir that back into the thing. That's getting a nice thick consistency to it.
You're essentially making a custard, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is really custard in all intents and purposes. And now, the only other, and I mean a little smidgen of lemon juice gets added to this to give it a little zest.
A little brightness.
Little brightness, which is beautiful. Now, you might be wondering, well, Generoso, are you a liar? Didn't you say you were going to make vanilla and chocolate cream? Well, yes. What we're going to eventually do is we're going to get this vanilla cream. We're going to cook it almost to fruition. We're going to separate half of it, and we're going to add chocolate to that half.
Oh.
Which is a groovy thing. So we're going to keep stirring this until it gets nice and smooth. Now we're going to add our half a cup of flour. And really stir it. I mean, really get the lumps out as best you can. They're going to break down a lot better once we bring this on the heat. But you want to stir this very aggressively for about another minute. And then we're going to take our concoction over to the stove in just a moment. So for the last 2 minutes, I have been using my mighty right arm. By the way, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm doing this on a Monday, which is insane. As you can see, this is smooth. Real smooth. And at this juncture, what we're going to do is take it over to our Cuisinart, our lovely sauce pot. Now we're going to put this on a real low flame because we do not want the eggs to cook very quickly. So on a very low flame, we're going to start to warm this up and we're going to pour our mixture into the Cuisinart. All of it. Every last little bit that you can get. This stuff is incredibly thick. Now this isn't obviously all the cream. We are going to be adding milk to this in a bit. So if it gets all the mixture we're going to get. Now, on this very, very low heat, we're going to stir a little bit more. Now the goal here again is that because it's on a flame and there are eggs in this and flour, it's going to try to cook itself. And every now and then you're going to notice it's going to like clump a little bit, right? It's going to get a little firm. Keep stirring, keep stirring. When it starts to get warm, we're going to add the milk. It'll be in a few minutes. I'm going to keep stirring this at first for a while, just until it gets warm, and then we're going to add the milk to it. See you in a second. It's been about 2 minutes. I have been ferociously stirring. Lily, ferociously?
Ferociously.
Just like a crazy person. If you look inside, it's not super bubbly, but I just tested it, and it's very warm.
It's not lumpy.
It's not lumpy. It's beautifully smooth. And at this juncture, I'm going to try to be as ambidextrous as possible. I'm going to put half of this half gallon in there while I stir. Keep stirring, kids. And keep adding it and keep stirring it. So I think a little bit more. All right. Now here comes the fun part. I'm going to stand here. It is almost 1 a.m. and at 1:20 should be just about right. What's going to happen is I'm going to continue to stir. It's going to get firmer and firmer and firmer and firmer. And then you know you have your cream. Yay!
And you'll split it up too.
Yeah, when it actually does thicken up to the proper consistency, remember, it's not going to be as super thick. That's going to happen when it's refrigerated overnight. But when it gets thick enough on top of the stove, I'm going to separate out half and then show you how to make the chocolate version of what we're doing right now.
It's my favorite version.
I know you love it. Well, if you look at the clock, we last met each other about 28 minutes ago, and my right hand has not stopped moving. As you can see, it is a beautiful thick consistency now. We really like it. If you notice, if you actually stop stirring for just a second and then you start stirring, it actually cooks on the bottom, so you have to continuously move. But most of the lumps are out of it. It is beautifully, beautifully thick. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to make the chocolate version of this. So what that's going to entail is getting half of this. As you notice, I have another pan ready on a nice, very, very low flame. So I'm going to give this, look how beautifully thick that is. I'm going to put that on there. Turn the heat off on your vanilla. And that's going to eventually go into the fridge and sit overnight. But what we're going to worry about now is making some chocolate cream. And the way that we do this is we've separated out this amount. And we bring in our good friend,
The chocolate bar.
Okay, so let's take a little stab at this and progressively put in some chocolate. Use any chocolate you want. Everybody's like, Gene, do you just use Italian chocolate in your chocolate cream? If I can find it, yes. This time we're going with American chocolate. It's Hershey's in. Very slowly, you want to keep stirring it. And as the chocolate breaks down, you want to toss in some more chocolate. And the nice thing, I will say this about Hershey's.
It melts.
Really, really nicely it melts. For you s'mores fans out there, and I know you're out there, you definitely can. So this is pretty easy to understand. We're going to actually, this cream is for all intents and purposes done. We're going to add all of the chocolate that you saw.
A whole bar?
The whole thing. And melt it on down. And this is how you get vanilla and chocolate cream. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this chocolate off the flame in about another minute or so. Put them in a couple of beautiful bowls. Cover them. And get them ready to be inserted into a cake. sometime tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to work on making the butter frosting. See you then. Welcome back. So it's the next day. It's not the middle of the night anymore.
It's still your birthday.
It's still my birthday. It's about 6:30 on my birthday p.m. The cakes have been cooling in the fridge. The creams that we made, chocolate and vanilla, have been cooling in the fridge as well. And now we're going to make the butter frosting. This is probably the same as everyone in America makes butter frosting, but I was taught by an Italian woman, so I'm going to call this Italian buttercream frosting. Here's what we're going to need. We're going to need a box of confectioner's sugar, a little tiny bit of milk that's going to help with the thickening of it, but not a lot, 3 sticks of butter, and this is what we're going to do.
And those butters are not directly from the fridge.
No, they've been sitting out for probably about 15 minutes, so they're a little bit of the hard edges taken off of them. So normally after this moment, we usually stop, do some prep work, but this is pretty basic, so I'll show you exactly what we need. We're going to do about a cup and let's say half of confectioner's sugar. Okay. Put this to the side. And we're going to add our sticks of butter. 2, 3. This is very unglamorous. And then we're going to get our little thing. Oh, we're also going to need some more of the vanilla extract. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. And we're going to start mushing this out.
And how long will this need to mush?
We're going to mush this until it starts to turn into a wonderful, creamy, blended joy. Now, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to continue to break down the butter with the... And then, while I'm doing this, I'm going to add just a smidgen of milk just to help with the breakdown process.
Probably what, like
a cup.
A cup?
Cup of milk. And that's going to help to kind of loosen everything up. And we'll be back in just a little tiny bit once we get a consistency that makes sense. So after about 15 minutes of blending, we now have our butter frosting.
Indeed.
I also added a tablespoon of vanilla to this just to give it a little bit of oomph.
And you watch the consistency, right?
Yeah, we did add about another cup or so of confectioner's sugar and a little tiny bit more milk just to get it more volume, of course, because we got a fairly large cake. It's 2 8-inch cakes. So what I've done is I've taken the cakes out, I've split one in half so that we can separate it with the different creams. Here are the creams that we made last night, the chocolate and vanilla. They've made themselves nice and solid for us. And now we're going to fill the layers with cream. I'm very excited about this process. Look at the beautiful thick consistency of this cream. And we're going to add it to the cake in a nice Mr. Miyagi-san circular motion. He would be very proud.
Wax on, wax off?
Wax on, wax off. And we'll be back once we're ready to frost it up. So, as you may see, we've now assembled the cake, 1 layer of chocolate, 1 layer of vanilla. And now we're going to lightly frost it. The frosting is a little thick, so as we begin to put this on, I'm probably going to ask Lily to get off the camera to help put it on. But we're going to frost this up and decorate it a bit, and we should be done in a few minutes.
Yay!
Hi! So Lily has helped me immensely at frosting it. I should also say that Lily and I are not bakers.
We really don't bake in this house.
We don't, but we think this is an acceptable looking cake at this stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the freezer for a little tiny bit. It's butter frosting. It's going to melt. So we're going to freeze it up for probably about a half hour, 40 minutes, just so it firms up, and then we're going to decorate it.
Yay!
This was not our finest day. We have made a delicious cake. I'm really believing it's delicious. I've made cakes before. Decorating it, that's a whole other story. This is what we have. That is with the butter icing and my attempts at trying to make something very, very beautiful. I'm sure it tastes great. I'll let you know later. But that is my Italian triple layer cream cake. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please let us know on the blog, and I wish you love. It has been a happy birthday thanks to my Lily.